Angelic service or the shadow's slave? This Virgo eclipse is going to be an opportunity for each of us in different ways to explore the ways that we can do daily tasks and get the mundane things done in a way that's fueled with heart space, with presence to the energy that we put into the detail of the things we get done. This eclipse also packs a punch of energy that can be jarring, energy that can feel intense but transformative, extremely healing on the Virgo Pisces axis. I want to talk a lot about the Pluto-Mars square because these energies that can instill fear in forecasts, and I want to express something that hopefully is the complete opposite, as well as the beautiful kite energy that we have, a grand trine with this moon. There's so much to look forward to in this sky. Do watch your sun, moon, and rising. Checking all three, combining them will give you a better sense of how this is actually showing up in your chart. The first part of this video, the general introduction, will give you a better sense of what is actually going on in the full spectrum of the energy in the sky. And then the sign by sign is more just for you to know how and what ways this could show up in your life. A Virgo new moon solar eclipse is about a new way of approaching life, a new way of getting things done, a new way of being committed to our health, to our work, to our service in the world. Service can feel like a burden, or it can feel like an angelic, divine contribution to the world. When we're doing it from a space of love and appreciation and trust in the way that the world is going to work out for us, that's when service can feel more like that divine gift that we're putting something wonderful into the world, even if it's brushing our teeth, even if it's getting mundane things done. There's a beauty in that. We all know how good it feels to have freshly organized our closet or just to get the sink empty and clean. Brushing our teeth is mundane, but it's a very important part of our health and our well-being. When we dread the mundane and the normal stuff in life, there's an energy and a burden quality to everything that we're putting into the energy around us. Pisces is that. It's putting the energy first. That's the Virgo Pisces axis. And we have Saturn in Pisces and Neptune still in Aries, but both are opposing this solar eclipse with Mercury. So the sun, moon, and Mercury. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. So even though it's in Aries, this is a brand new start for Neptune. This is shifting the way energy is done and poured into our life. Saturn is in its last few degrees of getting this work done in Pisces. And what it's doing is restructuring energy for us. More people are feeling this and thinking about it in ways that they haven't before. Or if we've been thinking about it for a while, we're really putting a different spin on how that shows up in our daily life and daily practice. I was absolutely dreading leaving my Bosch dishwasher behind when I left Canada. Something that I haven't had in a lot of apartments, but I moved into this apartment a year and a half ago. And one of my favorite things was this high efficiency, super quiet dishwasher. And I don't have to think about my dishes. I throw them all in. I live alone. I use absolutely every dish I own, fill that dishwasher, and I ran it almost every day. And as I was preparing for this move, knowing that I was going to be back to washing dishes by hand, which I haven't done in quite a long time. Most of my apartments have had dishwashers. And I knew this was going to be a big lifestyle change. But I am slowing down more because of it. I'm using fewer dishes. I'm cleaning them more regularly, which I'm trying to put this different energy into it, where it's a moment that I can be present. It's a moment that I don't have to think about other things. It's a moment that I can choose to feel good about what I'm doing, or I could choose to feel like it's an annoying extra thing that I have to do every day. So I've been thinking about that. And that's what I think a lot of this Virgo Pisces energy can be, is that if we are making mundane moments more precious and we're filling them with good energy and intention, that is going to have a building effect in a mass way on our life. Nadiya Shah says we overestimate how much we can get done in 1 year, and we underestimate how much we can get done in 10 years. And this is because of that building effect. We underestimate the importance of tiny tasks and what they add up to every day. And if we have resentment in anything in our life, in any tiny way, count those tiny moments of resentment, shame, self-criticism, criticism of others, self-doubt. We put the same amount of energy into I can't as I can. What would our lives look like and feel like if every moment that we self-criticized and said we're not good enough, nothing's perfect enough, nothing's going right for me? What if 5 of those moments were different? What if 10 of those moments were different? What if 10 of those moments were different every day, 365 days a year for 10 years? That's what this Virgo Pisces axis is about, is that these small energetic shifts and the way that we restructure Pisces energy in our lives with Saturn here for the last few months, that is going to make our tasks and our health and that Virgo part of our life that much better. Another element to shifting the energy of those tasks is detours are the divine at work, and mistakes are actually perfecting the process. Those are 2 things that can pour into a lot of different circumstances and can help that inner critic, self-judgment, feeling like things aren't going right, feeling like there's too much work to do, feeling like health is never going to be perfect. If we start to think of the things that are causing us annoyance as actually a perfect piece of the process of a detour that is divinely guided. And I've seen these situations show up in my life this week, and those situations did make my outcome much better. Had I been using energy worrying about that all the way up until I realized, oh wait, that mistake was actually a better scenario, versus not worrying too much and just seeing what happens. Maybe things do go wrong. Sometimes we feel like the world is an unsafe place and bad things happen. And that's true. But sometimes those are gifts that are shifting our perspective, opening our hearts, and creating something in a bigger energetic realm that we can't possibly fully understand. So if we're going to take anything into this solar eclipse and have a new beginning in any way, let it be that mistakes are part of the plan, detours are part of perfection. Us being perfectly imperfect is exactly how we should be as humans, and to take a little bit of judgment out of that. Also, to thank that judgment for keeping us smart, keeping us evolving, keeping us looking at things that we might want to change. But when we thank that part of ourselves for being critical and intelligent, at the same time, let it know that this has the opportunity to be a different day. And maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe 5 years from now, we don't have to put judgment on how quickly we change, but giving that voice a chance to change. Now, the Mars-Pluto square is one of the ingredients that is going to make change imminent. We can't avoid it. We're not initiating it. This is square energy where Mars is coming in hard with Pluto, and it's just going to happen. We're just going to have to roll with it, and it's part of the background reprogramming that's happening to us. Mars in Libra is likely going to be about relationships, equality, equanimity, making sure that the scales are balanced when it comes to the energy of self and other and how we come together. Like two flames coming together. The goal is going to be coming together with people in a way that brightens our flame. If that's not happening, we're going to make changes under this Mars-Pluto square. It's going to be really obvious. There's going to be a feeling of knowing that you're being called to something that hasn't been done before with Pluto in Aquarius, that you are getting divine downloads and strong intuition that something isn't right in relationships and that there's a psychology that needs to change. And that's when Mars moves into Scorpio very shortly after this eclipse. This moment is when we start to understand at a psychological level, but the goal is going to be to feel through it at the heart level. And that's the Saturn in Pisces, the unconditional love, the restructuring of what we need to do at an energetic level to hold unconditional love as we reconfigure ourselves, our own parts, every aspect of ourselves that we like or dislike. The healing is going to come from a feeling of appreciation for it all. The Mars-Pluto square could feel like an instant release. It could feel like a full moon pressure release that could feel very relieving, or it could be the ingredient and the element that brings about better awareness of what psychology is playing out and how to shift our heart space to get the tasks done to transform the psychology. And that's going to be Mars in Scorpio for the months to come. But right now, this solar eclipse is so full of positive Jupiter energy. Jupiter is trining and sextiling the nodes. Uranus is in beautiful configuration to create lovely surprises, lovely intuitive guidance, things that we didn't see coming that we're very pleased about. Changes are going to be happening for us. This is going to land on people differently. Everyone's going through different circumstances in life. For those of you struggling in any way, it's never super helpful to hear a forecast. Sometimes we just have to go through painful, heartbreaking experiences. And my hope is that there is some heart expansion and opening in the process. Definitely reach out if you want to chat about astrology and your chart and see what's going on in your world. Would love to see you for my one-on-one Zoom calls. I will link that in the description below. And I am back in business, back to work schedule coming up shortly. So definitely reach out if you are looking for more support, and know that lovely surprises are on their way. Shifts of energy are promised at this new moon. So see how it all plays out. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out for this reading with me. Now let's get into your sign. Hi, Aries. This solar eclipse is your 6th house. This is happening in your house of work, service, health routines, how you get things done. You're letting go of a task. You're letting go of a way of doing things and maybe even releasing an old health pattern. The North Node in your 12th house with Saturn here is the element of trusting the bigger picture, trusting that the divine has your back. And there's something about Pluto in Aquarius in your 11th house that is helping you be divinely guided when it comes to the networks and the connections that you're a part of. It's these organizations and the way that you are separating yourself from the masses, going on your own path, even if it's with other people. You are feeling inspired to follow more of your inner divine wisdom and be a little bit removed from the crowd, being the observer of the crowd. And with that energy, you're able to feed something into the axis of work and rest, work and intuition, service and divine guidance. You're able to feed something there that is revolutionary, never been done before. You're releasing fears when it comes to being one outside of the crowd, because sometimes being the best leader means that you are not doing what the masses are doing. And that can be scary. But at a moment like this, you're ready to leap into something different. And maybe there's something going on with work or health that is part of this journey and platform for you to experience this change. Uranus is in your third house of communication, sending beautiful energy as part of this kite. As with Pluto on the other side in your 11th house. So Uranus here, this is going to be communication and mindset. There's going to be media that gives you the signs and signals, or someone says something that shifts your perspective, or your own writing, your own process of releasing media or information. This can be cousins, close relatives, siblings, or neighbors, short distance travel. There's a surprise here that is adding to your ability to restructure your subconscious with Saturn in your 12th house. Restructure how you perceive energy and how you use it to your advantage. You are going to be putting this energy to work more than most people because of this 6th and 12th house axis being lit up for you. Jupiter in your 4th house is amplifying this axis too. So there's something at home that is expanding, growing, healing from your own home, the place you grew up, your family lineage, your mother, your inner world. This is feeding into this eclipse energy. So for Aries out there, I see this as being a real energetic reprogramming. You're feeling the shifts. You're feeling more love expand in your body. On that note, I just remembered that I wanted to share a Virgo meditation video that I made. I'll link that in the description below and add it to the intro probably. So this is a video where I do a step-by-step guide on how to tune in with energy in your body and shift into a lighter love space. So it's something that you are already tuning into by the looks of your chart. But this could just be something that you can lay back and listen to my voice walk you through some steps. I think it's about 10-15 minutes, so pretty short to add into your nightly routine or whatever feels good for you. I would love to hear how this is going for you, Aries. It looks like work, routines, health habits, your mental patterns, your thought patterns, your energetic frequency is all changing, but the details are going to be different for each of you. So we'd love to hear how this is showing up in your life. If you would like to see your personal chart through my lens and have a chat with me, I'll link my booking site in the description below. But thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful solar eclipse, and I will see you next time.
Hi, Taurus. This is a 5th house solar eclipse for you. So a brand new fated beginning when it comes to your creative self-expression, how you have fun, how you play and express your true, authentic creativity in this world. And Pluto in your 10th house in Aquarius is showing you how to do this in a way that bursts you out of what you thought was an ideal way of managing your authority in the world. There's divine inspiration and something that is setting you outside of the crowd when it comes to your 10th house authority and being seen in the world energy. Pluto is in beautiful sextile and trine to the nodes and to this eclipse, which is, like I said, your 5th house of creative expression. And on the other side of that, we have the North Node and Saturn in your 11th house of networks and community, being connected to all of the people in the world that matter to you. This is at a distance, somewhat. These are people, communities that support you, not necessarily your closest friends, but some of those people could come from these communities. The 11th house, where the node and Saturn is by classic position, the Aquarius house. So that's why I wanted to talk about Pluto first with you in Aquarius. Because with Aquarius energy, we're talking about the opposite of the 5th house, where the South Node is. How do you align with more of your creative self-expression and have the courage and the inner authority to separate yourself from what has been done, from what the crowd is doing? As a Taurus, typically a lot of you are not going to be following the crowd. You're going to be following what matters to you from a perspective of sensuality and pleasure and security. If you're attached to the security piece, then this could be an ingredient that you're breaking free from. This could be part of what feels uncomfortable, setting yourself outside of the crowd. Yet, the North Node in the 11th house still wants that connection of community. The grand trine, beautiful energy of the nodes, of the South Node, this moon, Pluto, and Uranus in your second house. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. Uranus is outrageous and unusual. It thinks outside the box. It's energy that's different and unique. And this is in your second house of Taurus classic position. So you have so much overlap of Taurus and Aquarius and Leo energy at this moment. Back to Uranus in your second house, though, this can be unexpected blessings with your possessions, your own energy, your resources, and your ability to feel secure amongst instability. Your ability to feel secure even when you're not part of the pack. Your ability to get pleasure from unique and unusual things. And Taurus is known as the reliable, steady, strong, one foot in front of the other type of energy. Uranus in this Taurus part of your chart, though, in the second house, is erratic. It has spurts of unusual activity. It's not steady and stable. So combining that with a sense of security is where we find the most security. I've been thinking about that a lot with this Pisces eclipse because we are being asked to go into more Pisces energy with the North Node. That is, like Uranus, this lack of linear flow. But there's trust in this destabilization and lack of structure, and maybe even lack of fully understanding things. These are also both very creative houses, the Pisces area of our charts and the Aquarius parts of our charts, or where Neptune is and where Uranus is. So Tauruses especially are being challenged right now to find that creative flow and edge and break free of what's holding you to what feels safe and secure and stable. But as most people are talking about these days, the only constant is change, and the instability that we're working with. If we can find stability and trust in that, then that's true security. Mars squaring Pluto is from your 6th house to your 10th house. This is work and tasks. This is the Virgo house where Mars is for you. So you could be feeling extra agitated and motivated for productivity, for systems, for health, for getting things done, work-related matters, getting tasks done throughout the day. If you're feeling frustrated that your authority is not working when it comes to that, that's the opportunity at this energy to shift into letting go of control and authority that we have over other people and finding that inner authority that is comfortable navigating unpredictable waters, that is comfortable putting something new and revolutionary and never done before out into the world. Just notice if you have agitation in getting things done, or inflammatory health stuff could be part of this for some people. It might go completely unnoticed for some Tauruses out there, but it's worth mentioning because it's one of the bigger energies of this eclipse. You have Jupiter in your 3rd house in trine to the North Node, which is going to give you the gift of gab. You could have more short distance travel. You could have more connections with neighbors coming up, cousins, close relatives, siblings. But you're going to come at it from a very nurturing place. And that's going to feed into your ability to nurture this 11th house energy, which is connection and yet going off on your own. Being comfortable in your unique energy and trusting that there's connection and network available within that, even if you feel like the oddball out sometimes. Saturn is revisiting this 11th house and the North Node to help restructure the energy that you put into community and networks. And know that even if you're doing something different, you don't have to have everyone go along with you. There's an energy of ease that just being comfortable and confident in your unique creative expression is going to magnetize people towards you. It's going to magnetize the right communities and the right groups. But the 11th house, we are connected to these groups, but yet we sometimes don't feel connected because they're not our close bonds. You might energetically not feel connected sometimes. You might feel a bit lost in groups and with other people. You might feel that there's this elusive, intangible quality that you want to grasp into these systems, and yet you reach and they disappear. This to me, though, looks like a feeling and not necessarily what actually is on the surface. Some of you could just have a lot of creative, spiritual film people that create movies and create stories and artsy in that film and photography department, or spiritual and intuitive. That would be where this North Node is guiding you to those communities. So for Taurus, the ultimate opportunity here is a new form of play and creative expression that makes you feel joyful, makes you feel happy, and then the right people find you. I would love to hear how this is showing up for you, though. Let me know in the comments below, and feel free to reach out for one-on-one readings. I will link that in the description below. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time. Gemini. This is a 4th house solar eclipse for you. So all about home, family, your inner world, the place that you came from, your actual home now, your hometown, your family, your mother's lineage, your family lineage. This is the energy that has been passed down to you through generations that creates an internal vibration that you are imprinted with from birth, and that at times like this is fated to change. There is something shifting and you're letting go of that inner critic. You are letting go of perfectionism and control and trying to sort things out into rainbow colored boxes with perfect little bows on them. You're giving in to the true authority, which is the North Node in your 10th house of Pisces, which is going with the flow, and being in a creative, divinely inspired energy. Knowing that a back step actually helps us go forward more, or a detour is actually keeping us on track. Saturn is restructuring how you view your inner authority, how you view structure in the world. And it's going to have to do with that 4th and 10th house axis. So what goes on in your inner world is what you project into the outer world. But what you've been given by your family upbringing and just the environment you were brought into is going to be up for energetic transmutation, and in a lot of ways becoming more structured in the lack of structure because of Saturn in this part of your chart. So Saturn in Pisces is restructuring energy, but it's also bringing structure to that which is just an energetic form. When it comes to authority, if you feel that on the inside, it is a gentle yin energy that attracts the right situations on the outside. So it's not the Capricornian authority that is a rigid structure that everyone must abide by and all the rules of society. It is something that you magnetize when you have Pisces in this part of your chart. It's something that you decide for yourself, and trusting that that energy and the right people are going to flow to you. This beautiful kite is also made up of Uranus in your sign and Pluto in your 9th house. Pluto in Aquarius in your ninth house is about changing your belief systems, changing your perspective on the world. And Uranus in your first house is also going to do that. Your perspective is changing into that of one that is more inspired by something that is divinely guided, that is intuitive, that is not based on the past, not based on what has been done before, based on curiosity for more knowledge, based on curiosity, knowing that there's more than what we have already experienced. There's more to experience, there's more to feel, and you are going to be a leader in stepping into this energy for other people. Pluto in Aquarius is a big transit for all of us. And with you having Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, in your sign, and Gemini being already a curious, intellectual minded energy. Aquarius is also known as the higher octave of Gemini. There's our human mind that's functional and able to make sense of the world and be curious and understand the pragmatic details. And then there's Uranus, which is divine intelligence. It is the creative source. It is stepping into something that is new and unique, whereas Gemini knowledge is based more on that which already is and gathering that knowledge to make something more. Uranus is a straight download, especially in your ninth house, of trusting and just knowing that something is true because we've experienced it. We didn't read it in a book. This is the energy that's going to help you with your 4th and 10th house. This is the energy that's going to re-imprint your past internal vibration, the past way that it was fed to operate. And it's the same energy that's going to change how you direct yourself out in the world, in business, in career, in reputation, in status, in how other people see you. It's going to be more unique and inspired for change that can really help the world. Virgo in your 4th house is about service and helping the world, but it comes from a place of task, one foot in front of the other. Uranus is more inspired. So you're going to be feeling inspiration at this new moon, and that's going to start to feed into your soul and your inner world and your home. And that's what's going to liberate you from perfection and self-criticism and doing too much and burning out and service for the sake of being a good person. Instead, it's going to be service for the greater good, service for change and opportunity that you want to see the world transform into. So you're leaning more on that. It might even be less about helping one and helping people at home and more about helping the greater good. And that's going to still help people at home. That's still going to help the one, but your focus is shifting to the bigger picture. And Jupiter in your 2nd house is giving you the energy to do all of that. The resources, the energy, money is coming in, your possessions are expanding. Maybe you're spending more money on possessions that really matter to you, or a project that is helping your career, helping your work, helping your place in the world and what you're going to be seen for. This is beautiful energy for Geminis. I really see you stepping into a different mindset, Gemini. You are going to be feeling more expansive, more creative, more new ideas, and less wasted energy on circulating old ideas. Less chit chat and more big picture conversations about what can we really get done at an energetic and more collective level. Maybe energetically, maybe practically, depending on what type of work you are in. I would love to hear from Geminis out there. Let me know how this is going for you. Let me know if you're especially in film or you have a creative role that is being infused with divine energy, or if there's something else, that some other way that this is manifesting. I want to hear it all. And definitely reach out if you want more guidance with your personal chart and how to navigate what's coming up. I will link my website for one-on-one Zoom bookings there. But thank you so much for just being here. It is so wonderful to share this time with you. Have a wonderful solar eclipse, and I will see you next time. Hi, Cancer. This is a third house solar eclipse for you. So this is all about your communication, your mindset, the way that you use your mind for daily tasks every day, the notes that you take, the media you create, the media you watch. What do you take in with communication, and what is it that is circulating in your brain on a daily basis? How functional is it? How critical is it? How much is it fatiguing you? How much is it adding to the service that you put out into the world? How functional is it in a way of actual productivity? Or do you find that you're spinning your wheels with too much to do? With the South Node here, if there's any wasted energy in your communication house, in your mental house, with your brain focus, this is time where you're just naturally going to let it go. It's going to feel easy. It's going to feel easy to stop watching material that is feeding you with worry and perfectionism and comparison. And it's going to be easier to find media that gives you an expanded belief set, an expanded perspective on the world that is more from a place of energy, less about face value of words and what someone's saying. This really makes me think of seeing through fake media, seeing through AI generated videos and dialogue, and feeling the energy behind what people are saying, whether that's in media or in person. You're going to be tuned in to this belief system based on what you feel on the inside. I always knew that I just didn't like AI generated videos and AI generated dialogue, especially. And my mental brain, my third house Gemini brain, thought that it was because it was paced. Like, there's a robotic quality to it, even the ones that mimic Brene Brown's voice or Jennifer Aniston's voice, but they still, if you listen, they'll have, it's not a natural human flawed tone of rhythmic nature to the voice. It's almost too perfect. But then I realized that there was more to it than that. There was this weird energy I was picking up on. And what I think it is that a lot of these videos are generated for the wrong intention. They don't have any soul. They're filled with material just for the sake of making money, just for the sake of getting views and getting attention. And there's something that energetically behind that also left me with an uncomfortable feeling. So this could show up in lots of different ways for you, but that is what it reminds me of. So think about maybe other avenues that you could apply, feeling through what's really going on underneath and how that affects what you believe in, how that affects your perspective on the world. And keep in mind too that when the North Node's in Pisces, this is about unconditional love. We can still place judgment on these things, but even when we place judgment, there can be a source of still unconditional love for the process that we're going through in the world right now, as messy as it is. That's the thing with the energetic source that I'm talking about with North Node and Pisces, is that a judgment can be just a way of analyzing something. I always like to think about that with Virgo. Virgos aren't judgmental. They're analytical and discerning. That turns into a judgment. But with Virgo, we always have the opportunity of the other axis of Pisces, which is acceptance, unconditional love, creativity. There's a yearning there too, though. There's a yearning for that which is tangible, that which we can hold. So we need to find some middle ground there in the energy and the material that is coming from that. And that's Saturn's role in this ninth house for you. So you're going to be restructuring how you experience life and how those experiences build your perception in the ninth house, the way you see the world. Adding to that is Pluto in your 8th house in Aquarius and Uranus in your 12th house in Gemini. And this is what's creating this beautiful kite in the sky that's connected to the nodes. which Pluto and Uranus are going to play a big role in Uranus Aquarius energy. Uranus in your 12th house is giving you heightened psychic, subconscious, intuitive, energetic awareness and knowledge. It's like you're getting a straight stream from your guides, from divine material, from source, from energy, all of it. And that's transforming your psychology. Pluto in your 8th house is going to purge old psychological ways of being in the world. It's going to be psychological healing. It can sometimes be painful when there's a really sudden death and release with Mars square from your 4th house, which is the home and Cancerian house of the chart. So this is your safe spot. This is where you're nurtured. This is where you feel at home. This is the family you came from. Something jarring or abrupt at the time of this eclipse can create a psychological death and transformation for you. It could shift home, or more likely is coming from home and your inner world. But the big part of the story is the 3rd and 9th house for you. The communication, the mental process, and your perspective of the world. That's what's most important energetically right now. So whatever is going on at a physical, tangible level, keep that in mind, that there's something bigger at work that is going to shift your communication, the way that you use your mind, and the ways that you view things, so that you can be happier, more creative, you can be a teacher and a leader for other people. And you have this ease with that. It's not from a place of control, but rather from a place that's inspired and excited to create and make things different energetically than what they've been before, creatively too. So it's going to depend on what's going on for each of you, how your creativity is expressed in the world, how free you feel to express your intuitive abilities. Cancers are highly intuitive, but shy, and maybe not shy as much as protective. And you might feel protective over your psyche and protective about sharing that with other people. With the North Node in the 9th house, whether you're sharing that or not, you're going to be a teacher for other people, maybe even just by example. I would love to hear what's going on for you, Cancer. This is a big one. There's a lot of opportunity here for energetic, intuitive shifts that make you feel more comfortable with that part of yourself, that part of your life, that part of your spirituality, that part of being really unique in this world and having a unique psychology and way of expressing your intuition and your beliefs. For some of you, this could be actual travel and overseas places and experiences in unusual different cultures and with different people that are part of expanding and healing some of your views and ways that you communicate that with others. So yeah, let me know. But thank you so much for just being here. And if you would like to chat more with me about your personal chart, I will link my booking website in the description below. Have a wonderful solar eclipse, and I will see you next time. Leo, this is your 2nd house. This is a wonderful place to have a solar eclipse. Brand new beginning for your self-worth, your security, the way that you experience pleasure in this world, the way that you experience your sensuality, the way that you navigate the comforts of life. There could be something that you're letting go of when it comes to the comforts of life. You might be shifting a limitation in this energy, though, and breaking through any limits that you have with abundance and your feeling of knowing that you deserve comforts. If you have any guilt here, any self-sabotaging, this could also be an energy of shrinking and minimizing what you have to offer. If you have a tendency to minimize yourself and the energy that you bring to this world and how much it matters, something is just going to drop out. And maybe it came into your awareness at the full moon, and now you're getting into the shedding process at the time of this new moon, and you'll start to move forward in this self-secure part of your life in a different way. And the money will come, the abundance will come. You might be letting go of possessions around this time too, or there might be something that's fated to leave your life when it comes to possessions and assets. And you're moving more into shared resources. You're moving more into the 8th house of Pisces, where the North Node is, and Saturn, which is your psychological transformation and healing. This is a death of an old part of you so that a new energy can be reborn. This is merging of resources in a trusting way. So if you have a lack of trust when it comes to shared resources with people that you are contracted to do that with, marriage partners, business partners, whatever it is, this is sometimes taxes and other payouts from third parties, but it's a values house, it's an assets house, but it has to do with other people more than just you. So there's something about abundance mindset that needs to be in flow. The 2nd house is you. The 2nd house is always ourselves. And then the 8th house, I like to look at it like the figure 8 of energy that flows between self and other when healthy abundance energy is going. So there's trust, there's letting go, there's a release of assets, knowing that it's going to come back to you. But we have to be really careful about the energy behind that. We can't just give money or energy away trusting that it's going to come back to us. There has to be an intention of what it is that we're putting energy and money into, or another person. This is also a house of intimacy that really matters to us. We still don't want to be just frivolous and leaking energy into things that don't matter, because then there is an energetic leak. And that's when we lose more resources than we gain, or we lose more energy than we gain in our connections and deep, intimate bonds. But with Pisces here, this is also not a forceful energy. This is an energy of being in the right place that aligns with what you value and trusting that it's going to work out. It's going to come to you. The right people are going to be a match with you. The right psychological transformation is going to happen. Wonderful time to get into psychological therapy or read books or find someone that can help you through this transformative process, and an opportunity when you're working at a psychological level with a professional or with yourself to then shift your intimate bonds and then shift the way that assets and energy and money flows between you and other people. Pluto is in your 7th house and Uranus in your 11th house. Pluto in Aquarius in your 7th, Uranus in Gemini in your 11th, feeding into this big kite in the sky. So Pluto in your partnership house is transforming the physical people that you make these contracts with. Uranus is bringing surprises of new networks, new connections that are also really going to help this financial access of 2nd and 8th where the eclipse is. So new and radical people, your communities, your networks, the groups that you're a part of, these people need to have an element of working towards the greater good. There needs to be an element of curiosity and communication, the right kind of media that you're creating and that you are taking in, the right kind of conversations and mental patterns and use of the brain, because that's the Gemini part in your 11th house. So these people need to align with all of those values for you. And then you're going to see the magic of the abundance and the security light up on this eclipse axis of 2nd and 8th. But with energy like this, it's just going to show up. So just watch for these points, because when you understand the energy that's going on, you'll understand why these unusual shifts might be happening, or you'll see that new people that are coming into your life and new networks and communities that you find, maybe even online, are more important and more significant than what meets the initial I. And there could be a connection to partnership in that for you. So circulating with friends and networks, doing transformative work on your psychology and any, I don't really like using the term shadows, but I've been using it in this video, but any of the stuff in your psyche that you haven't been looking at, this is a wonderful time to open that up, share with people important to you, join communities where you can share that, and very likely really significant partnerships and more money and security are going to come from those things. I would love to hear how this is going for you, Leo. There's a lot going on here. There's been a lot with relationships and finances for quite some time. This is a fated moment where a lot of the hard work that you've been doing is almost at its completion. And by spring, you're going to see these new cycles. If you're not already, you're going to see much more of the results of the new cycles, even towards the end of October. You let me know. Would love to hear how the details are playing out in your life. And if you would like to chat more with me and talk about astrology and how this relates with your personal chart and the psychological transformations you're going through, check out my booking link in the description below. I do one-on-one Zoom calls. But thank you so much for just being here and checking out this video. Have a wonderful solar eclipse, and I will see you next time. Virgo, this is a whole new you, a whole new fated opportunity to shift into an energy that is so balanced on the Virgo and Pisces axis of self and other. This is releasing a way that you've been operating, the tools that you use to steer your ship every day. Something there is releasing that's been blocking you from connecting with others, from trusting others, from having unconditional love for self and other. And you're going to be fueled with more Pisces energy in the higher octaves of the Pisces expression. This is creative. This is intuitive. This is redirecting in a trusting place. And knowing that the service you put out into the world it doesn't have to come from a place of daunting slavery-ish service. Virgos can get overwhelmed by the tasks at hand and just tired because you're so skilled at seeing everything that needs to get done and mentally processing everything before you do it. But this eclipse is shifting into emotionally and energetically processing first, and then taking action from this calm, open-hearted space. Even directionless sometimes, even taking the next step without actually knowing what the whole map looks like, which is maybe freaky for a Virgo. It's your opposing sign. It is your polarity. It is bringing those polar opposite energies into more alignment so that the teeter is smaller. So when you're coming into alignment, the teeters that life have are a lot less. And then there's this still point at the center. Stillness is death, though. So the goal is not necessarily getting to that perfect middle, but it's the energy of doing it. It's the energy of the process that matters, not the end result, at least in this lifetime. You have Venus here now, and I haven't been talking about Venus for the other signs because there's a lot going on at this eclipse, and I just can't get into the configurations of every single thing. So I chose things that I thought were most important to talk about. But Venus is in square to Uranus. Love, money, comforts, romance. These shifts can be undesirable surprises or undesirable changes, but there's so much amazing stuff going on. And I mentioned Venus in your sign because Venus is in Virgo. And when you have Venus, you just shine a little differently. People see you in a beautiful light. You are able to tap into abundance and love and all of those things a little bit more. Virgo isn't the favorite position for Venus, but it doesn't really matter. It's your sign and you're getting the benefits of Venus. There is the square. It will move on shortly after the eclipse. It's a faster moving transit. So there could be something financially or with romance that is an unpleasant surprise, but it is all, the benefits of Venus go on for another month and you're going to really enjoy that. Especially the reason I brought it up is because you're changing and letting go of the more difficult expressions of Virgo, of being self-critical, of working towards perfection, of the things that we try to do so well that they actually end up creating resistance and holding us back from what we are actually trying to do. The big picture. Saturn in your 7th house could be restructuring how you connect with others and your trust in other people. Uranus in your 10th house and Pluto in your 6th house are big players in this eclipse. They are activating the nodes with beautiful angles. So even though Uranus is in a bit of conflict with Venus, there are beautiful surprises for self and partnership at the same time. Pluto in Aquarius is completely transforming how you take care of your life, all the Virgo things in the 6th house, but this is Aquarius, so you're changing your frequency. You're changing how you operate at an energetic level. You might be changing. Your nervous system can go through some healing. So if you have felt your nervous system be more erratic, you might have something happen that soothes your nervous system. Maybe partnership. Maybe someone comes into your life that is helping you transform this 6th house energy and imprint. And your frequency is more soothing and trusting in the process. So your health is getting better. Your health is transforming. You could get intuitive ideas on how to get things done in a different way, how to do it with more ease, how to be more functional in less time with less effort. That's always the goal, but we could get caught up in the details and create resistance to that path. The focus for you, Virgo, is all about self and other. Take this as a moment, whatever is happening, that it's completely re-imprinting how you do things, how you operate in the world, the energy that you do those things from. This is a lot of repetition for Virgos because I talked about a lot of this in the intro and it's going to be so relevant for you Virgos out there. The same themes are just really strong about how you approach tasks and how you approach your daily life and what is going to be released so that you can create a brand new beginning with more energy to connect with other people, more energy, more trust, more love, more unconditional love for the whole life process, but especially self and other. And it's going to really make your relationships flourish. You might already be feeling that, more expansion in your relationship house. Saturn coming back here can feel a little restrictive for some people, but it's really the reorganizing part. And sometimes we need to contract, and in that contracted space, the reorganization happens. And then this beautiful expansion when Saturn goes direct towards the end of the year in Pisces. Next spring, there's going to be more eclipses and more brand new beginnings on this axis with self and partnership. Right now is a really important step in reworking how you approach those things. Let me know, Virgo. Everyone could benefit from hearing from Virgos out there at a Virgo solar eclipse. Most of all, thank you so much for checking out this video and being here. Have a wonderful eclipse. And if you'd like to chat more with your personal chart, I will link my booking site in the description below. See you next time. Hi, Libra. This is the 12th house solar eclipse for you. So this is really more like a Pisces fresh start because it's your 12th house, which is the classic position for Pisces. Yet there's something you're letting go of in the Virgo way of being. You're letting go of control over the intuitive guidance that comes through. Maybe even letting go of trying to make sense of intuitive guidance in a practical way. With Pluto in beautiful aspect to this eclipse from your 5th house in Aquarius, I could see intuitive downloads having more trust in knowing that being unusually you, this more Uranian quality of self-expression, is going to help you be that much more connected to divine inspiration. Very psychic, intuitive energy for you, and higher wisdom, especially in the 12th house. This could be subconscious or something you don't see yet. So your subconscious limitations could be released during this eclipse. And that's changing your 9th house with Uranus there, changing the way you experience the world, the way, again, very Uranian energy in the 9th house of your perspectives and your experiences being based on the vibration that you're picking up on as divine intelligence and the not superior knowledge, but the bigger picture knowledge in the 9th house. Knowing that we don't have to make sense of it in the practical world in the beginning. That information comes first, and then the way that we make sense of it comes later. In your 6th house, you have the North Node and Saturn, and that puts even more emphasis on letting that Virgoan house of productivity, mundane tasks, taking care of your health and your well-being, less structure and more unconditional love, less structure and more divine creativity, less inner criticism and more love and trust for yourself and other people in the process of getting things done, which is sometimes challenging. As a Libra, you do understand this already, though, that you have a unique ability compared to other signs to understand other people, to really feel where they're coming from, to understand all sides of the story, and give grace for that. Give grace to other people for being different. Not everyone feels that way. Not everyone feels that way innately, which a Libra does. So that's really going to help you at the time of this eclipse to move into trusting in the workplace and in health. You might have health stuff that is elusive and hard to understand. With this kind of energy activated, there could be respiratory or chemical and gaseous stuff in the air or unseen organisms that are at play if there's health stuff going on. So keep that in mind. The invisible world is significant with health, and you might be finding clues to that and understanding more about pathogens and airborne and intestinal pathogens that could be contributing to your productivity, to your ability to do the right things for your health. And you're getting clues and more understanding, but it's through experience. It's through throwing yourself into unusual experiences, and you're finding these solutions. This may or may not be from traditional medicine. Pisces in your 6th house, it does represent doctors and hospitals and that type of environment. But with Uranus in your 9th house activating the 6th house, this looks like more unusual health practices that you figure out for yourself. Maybe you work with a doctor, and that combination of things adds to your health. And that's only for people where health stuff applies. For many people, it will just be work, getting things done, how you operate during the day, your routines, your habits. Any addictions can maybe be exacerbated temporarily, but there's a release of the subconscious pattern that was causing any addictive or poor routine behavior. If you tend to dissociate from situations rather than engage, then there's something shifting at an energetic level that's allowing you to be that much more present, that much more connected to the energy of things without feeling like you need to choose whatever path of dissociation. There's so many. The big thing that I just want to emphasize more is still Pluto's contribution to this eclipse axis. Pluto in Aquarius in your 5th house means that you're totally transforming your authentic creative self-expression. How you have fun, who you are in this world is making a stronger appearance and is coming out to play. That's going to be a really important ingredient in transforming your psyche, being more present and letting go of any hiding or dissociative patterns due to self-criticism, due to a need to have things perfect, and trust that imperfect souls are the perfect thing. That's exactly what we're here to do and be. It's that imperfection that creates uniqueness. It's not actually imperfection. It's a unique stamp. And our society has created normal and imperfect or normal and distorted. And these are actually the distortions of what we're here to express. The reason that this is in our society is because there was a time when we needed the structure of right and wrong to operate in a way that held strong values. And people were punished for being outside of the norm because that usually meant that they weren't adhering to values that supported everyone. We're at a place now where we can choose good intentions without being told. And because we are in this lovely place of evolution, for those of us that do live that way and have a set of values and ethics that we live by, and we have enough empathy to make decisions for ourselves and consider other people in the process, it's from that place that we get to go back and free ourselves and liberate ourselves from being a stamp mold in society, and we get to act ethically and from a place of value with creative expression, being unique again and being free and not restricted to rigid societal expectations that were really just to help keep everyone safe. And hopefully now we can have both. You let me know, Libra, you are so wise when it comes to other and self and relationships, and you're taking on more self authority and more self-focus than just being there for the other person. So you, more than other signs, really need this eclipse where you get to step into that transformative energy of your unique creative expression in the 5th house. Focus on you, focus on your subconscious, and the right people are going to come around. The right routines and habits are really going to support this change in you too. Thank you so much for checking out this video and being here with me. I hope that this eclipse is wonderful for you. If you would like to chat more about your chart, check out my booking link in the description below. I would love to see you there. So much fun to chat with you there. But thank you for just being here. Have a wonderful eclipse, and I will see you next time. Scorpio. This is an 11th house solar eclipse. So this is a fated new beginning when it comes to community networks, your internet connections, your connections to people, the world. But something has to go. If you're really going to get the community and the networks, the audience even that you want, there's an element of perfection, self-criticism, overdoing, over-organizing, over-giving that needs to let go and be corrected into the more Piscean vibe of your 5th house, which is that energetic, go with the flow part of yourself. Your creative self-expression has been undergoing Piscean focus and activation for quite some time with Saturn and Neptune. Now this eclipse cycle is creating the final shifts before Neptune and Saturn go into their new cycle in Aries for good in the beginning of next year. But now we're wrapping up the last little bit of what you've been going through as you lean into this creative essence of all things. the divine connection that you know you're a part of, that in some ways you are all things. In a lot of ways, in all ways, you are. But your creativity and your connection to that is growing stronger. Your trust in that is growing stronger, and your ability to create structured things that you put out into the material world from this place is growing with Saturn there. But you need to do it with other people. You need your community. You need your networks and your audience. You need to be in connection with the world so that they can see who you truly are and what you have to offer, as well as just being at play, having fun, doing your hobbies, and going with where your heart and soul takes you. But that's not in the absence of other people. It is sometimes being off on your own beat, going to the beat of your own drum and not being bound to the group. But you still want connection there. We still need community. Uranus in your 8th house of Gemini and Pluto in your 4th house of Aquarius are a strong part of this eclipse in positive ways. Positive surprises with shared resources are coming in. New developments, new radical ways of networking when it comes to resources with other people, when it comes to your own psychological transformation around what it means to be part of another and share energy, and complete transformation of your inner world. Something is purging and releasing in your inner world that is going to help release these Virgoian grip too tight on the control that you have of your networks and your community, and the control that you have over yourself in those situations. There's a new way of doing things that's going to be unique to each of you, but it's something that you're divinely inspired by. It is of the essence of divine intelligence. So it is coming in to you in a way that isn't from what's been done in the past. It's something brand new that's burning in your soul, and it's creating security from a place that is unusual. It is creating a family and a home from a place that is unusual and breaking old patterns. And that is creating this grand trine and this bigger kite as those two planets, Uranus and Pluto, activate the eclipse axis of a new way of doing things, a new way of being aligned for the greater good and following the true essence of your spirit. There's a lot of Aquarius energy for you because Virgo, where this eclipse is the traditional house of Aquarius. Jupiter is magnifying this from your 9th house, so your belief systems are expanding at the same time. This is energetic wisdom. This isn't wisdom that comes from linear thinking, cognitive process, even from media. It could come from the internet for you because of the 11th house activation. But there's going to be something more than meets the eye that you are creating and developing. And it's fated. You're meant to do this. You're meant to lead with your heart. You're meant to lead in this spiritual process and with this spiritual wisdom. Scorpios especially are so strong in being able to see through things, see past the face value and the surface level of what's being shown, and you see those underlying energetic layers. You feel them. You are a human lie detector. You know when someone is trying to say something that's not true. You know when someone's hiding a dark side that they don't want to share with the world. You know when someone is aligned with lightness. And you know when you yourself are in these places. But Scorpios, as a result, can be more guarded in the energy that they put out into the world because they see everything past the surface level. They assume that they expect that everybody else can do the same. And so they are best at having that more reserved appearance energetically and physically as well. When it comes to expression, that is, when it comes to talking about what's deep in a Scorpio's soul. But you know when you're aligned, you know when you feel free. And this energy is about feeling more free in your spirit, trusting that other people will hold space for that. And the interesting thing that I think about is that when we're in that space of trusting and unconditional love for other people's whatever it is, the whole dynamic expression that we all bring to the table as humans, the good, the bad, I don't like those titles, but the authentic, the inauthentic, the stuff that's passed down that we guard that isn't our true spirit. And so you have this moment where you get to step into your true spirit and you are going to attract people that you can trust because you're going to be in this more yin receiving energy. And bit by bit, you might even feel more comfortable to bond more deeply with other people, to have that level of intimacy that you feel like you can bear your energetic imprint to another person. And they're going to see you and feel you for who you really are. That's Uranus in your 8th house. And it's that comfort with other people that can allow for us to have more of a transformation psychologically and energetically ourselves. If you've been looking for community that makes you feel at ease, that helps you align with fun and play and what really matters to you at a heart level, this is a moment where you're moving towards that. I would love to hear who's showing up in your world, who's your audience, who are those souls that make up your network, and what are you moving into that feels better than it was before? Let me know in the comments below. It's so much fun chatting with you there. But thank you so much for just being here. It is so much fun chatting astrology with you. If you would like more and you want to meet with me one-on-one for a Zoom call, I will link my booking link in the description below. But for now, have a wonderful solar eclipse and I will see you next time. Sagittarius. This is a 10th house new moon solar eclipse for you. So this is all about your status, your public visibility, your career, your reputation, who you are out there. How do people see you? This is your authority in the world, but more importantly, your inner authority. And that's what magnetizes other forms of authority, other forms of structure that you put out in the world. On the other side, you have the North Node in your 4th house with Saturn. Neptune is in your 5th house, also opposing this new moon. And that tension is bringing an opportunity for you to feel more comfortable being in your Piscean state of unconditional love in your inner world. Unconditional love for your family, for your home, creativity and trust in the energetic process that's unfolding for you when it comes to home. What does home and safety mean? Who are your people that you keep in that home as far as your family and your lineage and your mother's side of the family especially? How does that energy make you who you are? And how does that energy feed into your inner authority that you share with the rest of the world? Are you sharing it from a place of being overly concerned about the detail and burning out by doing too much and having too much perfectionism in your public image? It could be working against you if that's the case, and what people really want to see, what they're really going to follow as far as your authority, is seeing that you have this capacity to follow divine flow and navigate details and action from that place. Everybody wants that in a leader and in work and career right now, because a lot of people are feeling lost and wobbly in this energy that we're being asked to step into while the North Node is in Pisces. It means that everyone's feeling a bit more uncomfortable in this trusting that we don't really know the big picture. We don't really know what the next step is until we're there. And even then, there's a level of trust that we need to put into the way that the world directs us. Uranus in your 7th house and Pluto in your 3rd house are in grand trine to this moon, creating the kite on the axis of north and south node, Pisces and Virgo. And Uranus in your 7th house means that relationships are operating from a more divinely inspired place. Relationships could feel unpredictable. You could be completely changing the way that you operate with self and other. And Pluto in your 3rd house is going to talk about communication, your mental space around how you connect with self and other, your mental space around your inner world versus who you show to public, who you are in your professional life and out in the world. Communication and other people are going to be a big part of what is shifting and revolutionizing by fated experiences right now. You're completely transforming the way your brain operates, the way your brain operates with connection to other. You could be purging and releasing any media that doesn't, or even communication that doesn't align with the greater good, that doesn't work towards those goals, those Aquarian goals for you of a humanitarian focus. It's not just about service in your work and your career. That's what can create burnout. But when there's a higher purpose that's going to help everyone, that's inspirational. And that's what you're connecting to and what you have to share with others. And it very likely is coming from home, from something that your family and your upbringing taught you about spirituality, about energy, about creativity and love, unconditional love for all that is. Just because it is and we're here in this world experiencing it, it doesn't mean that it's good or bad. It just is an experience that we are here to go through. And there's something bigger that has more purpose than just what's right, what's wrong, what's healthy, what's not healthy, what's a good habit, what's a bad habit. There's something more, and you're tapping into that really strongly right now. When you're a Sag, you're experiencing the world through walking right into it and not necessarily because of what you were told in the past to think about things. That's what makes you a really good leader. You feel it for yourself, and that's what you put out in the world. Jupiter from your 8th house in Cancer is expanding your psyche, expanding your intimacy. It's healing those areas. And that is another ingredient that is helping who you are out in the public and that faith and trust in the energy of your soul and inner world. Ultimately, this is tuning in to what really matters for the collective, for the groups that you're a part of, because that's where Mars is. Mars is motivating you right now. But it's the groups that are really activating this Pluto energy and creating a spark that releases an old way of communicating. So if you are a presenter, if you're someone that talks in front of groups and audiences, this is especially a moment where you're going to realize that there's a different way of getting your message across. You might find it from media that you see and realize, there's some calibration that I can do here. But this is healing for resources from other people. There's more money coming in to support your projects and goals with work, with home, with that balance of work life and home life, maybe even from a spouse. But this could be a business partner as well. There's a lot of ways that the resources could come in and the psychological healing of Jupiter in your 8th house. So let me know what's going on with your communication, Sag. It's always so much fun hearing from you in the comments below. But Pluto in your 3rd house is a really big ingredient in this, and it's changing your relationships. It's changing your reputation and your work and your authority out in the world. And somehow community and networks are a big part, maybe even audience of this for you. Thank you so much for being here, checking out this video. If you would like more and you want to chat with me about your personal chart, I will link that in the description below. But for now, have a wonderful solar eclipse, and I will see you next time. Capricorn, this is a 9th house solar eclipse for you. So this is all about a brand new beginning when it comes to your beliefs about the world, how you view the world, who you are as a teacher. You're letting go of something Virgoan here. You're letting go of scrutinizing over the details of what your belief systems are. And you're moving more into the inspirational flow of your communication where the North Node is in Pisces, and your mind. You're leaning on your intuition more. You're letting that fuel your mind. You're letting that fuel the way that you express things, your media, maybe even the media you're taking in. That needs to have more of an unconditional love quality to it. You're restructuring this part of your chart as well, the third house. This has to do with restructuring media, short distance travel, vehicles, siblings, close relatives. This is neighbors sometimes. But this is ultimately a house of communication and how your mind works. Going with the flow, being less critical, and that could be what you're teaching. Jupiter in your 7th house is bringing partnerships into this, which is healing for this 3rd house, 9th house axis for you. It's other people that's the healing ingredient for your communication, your expression, your neighbors, your neighborhood, your relationship to your siblings and close family members, and your perspectives of the world more than anything, because that's where this new moon is. How you experience life. Do you experience it from a place of worry and rigidity and always have a plan that's safe and always be of service? That's good. But is it getting you where you want to be? Pluto in your 2nd house is a big transformation of an energetic imprint of worth, of what you value, of your abundance mindset. So the money and the assets that you have. But do you feel like you're enough? Do you feel like you have value in the world? Do you feel secure? You're creating a sense of inner security. With Uranus in your 6th house, you're revolutionizing the way you get things done and your health. Your nervous system could be going through healing or deep transformation and purging. And that's creating the grand trine of this eclipse, which is Uranus in your 6th house, Pluto in your 2nd, and the new moon in your 9th. So these have to work together. You're releasing what is holding you back from a sense of worth and security. You're restructuring your nervous system and how you apply divine intelligence to the things you get done, your routines, your habits. And as a result, there's a new mindset and belief about the world that you're experiencing. You're feeling it. You're not thinking about it. You're feeling your way through this energy. And your communication too. The Mars square is coming from your 10th house. So there's something sudden that happens with your public image, your work out in the world. This transforms your self-worth. This transforms your assets somehow. There are a lot of blessings coming in for you here, Capricorn, and you're going to experience the world in a different way as a result of it. You're going to feel more open-hearted when you throw yourself into new experiences and foreign situations and foreign people, foreign places. And you could shift into being a teacher in this realm as well, somehow, or in any realm. If you are a teacher, you're letting go of feeling burdened by service to teaching. You're letting go of being overly critical of what you have to share with the world as a teacher. A teacher or a guru could leave your life and make room for a new one. And this is all going to put you in more divine flow with your mental space, your communication, your curiosity. This is wonderful energy to put material out into the world. Though it is said not to necessarily use eclipse energy because this is fated stuff that we don't have control over. So wait a week or two after the new moon, closer to the next full moon, or this is just a moment that starts to shift things at a bigger scale. Sometimes we don't notice what's happening at the time of the eclipse, but when we look back a year later, that's the moment that started a new cycle, a new bigger journey that really has the span of a year as far as cycles, not the typical, or more, it's the span of a lifetime, not the typical 6 month and 1 year cycle that regular new moons and full moons have. I would love to hear the details of how this is going for you, Capricorn. It's so much fun chatting with you in the comments below. There's a lot that can happen with a 9th house new moon when it comes to the details of how this plays out. But really, it's just about how you feel your way through the world. Is your mind and your discernment blocking you from true experience? Or are you walking into communication and life with an open heart and letting that guide you? Thank you so much for being here. And if you would like to chat more with your personal chart, check out my booking link in the description below. For now, have a wonderful solar eclipse, and I will see you next time.
Hi, Aquarius. Something is really shifting with you at this new moon. This is a new moon in Virgo in your 8th house. But Mars is about to square Pluto in your 1st house, and let me just get into it. This new moon in the 8th house is an opportunity for a big psychological reversal. There's energy here that speaks to a death of an old you. That's Pluto in your 1st house too. Getting a square from Mars, now in your 9th, soon to be in your 10th. Mars in your 9th is going to be about your beliefs about the world. Your perspective is shifting. You're motivated by your perspective. You're motivated to experience new things, to feel it out, to feel it for yourself, not read it in a book. When Mars goes into your 10th house, you're going to be caring more about a sense of authority over your life, a sense of inner authority. You're going to care about your reputation, your public image, and that's going to be the fuel for this bigger self-death, old self-death. That's what Pluto does. It's going to completely purge an old operating system in Aquarius for you. But this solar eclipse in your 8th house is an important part of that. It's your psyche. It's your intimacy with other people. It's your ability to share resources, merge with another person when it comes to energy and resources. Can you receive from another? And what blockage to that merging needs to go? What blockage in you as an Aquarius? I would imagine it has to do with your need for freedom, your need to be yourself. You cannot be told what to do from other people. You have to pave your own path, and you need to figure out what's right for you at every moment. The energy is going to be working its way through you though. And as an Aquarius, this Aquarius and Uranus, it's a symbol of divine intelligence. So you have this in your operating system innately, and that's what makes you so liberated to the expressions and rules of other people. You know what's good for you. You know what's good for other people and the greater good. And you move towards that without a whole lot of concern for the group herd mentality, as they say. This is a moment where you on your own decide that the energy is there too. It's creating the combination with you in this divine connection, a change. And it's moving you more towards a self-value that you align with, a security that you align with, because the North Node is in your 2nd house of Pisces, and you're trusting this process more of your own energy being restored and fueled by something bigger, by the energy that connects us all. There's a source that is unlimited that you're tapping into for your self-worth, and your assets are going to blossom as a result as well. That's the North Node in your 2nd house. Uranus in your 5th house is in positive connection to Pluto and the axis of the nodes in 2nd and 8th. That is creating an Aquarian spin to your creative self-expression. You're feeling more Aquarius right now. You're feeling like you can step into the fun and playfulness of being a creative and unique human. This is fueling your desire to change at a psychological level. This is fueling a part of you that is going to release, die off, wither away, and in place something that you have more value on is going to grow. The 8th house, when it comes to intimacy and merging psychologically with others, often means transforming and shifting psychologically on our own and with another person. This could be a therapist, this could be a partner, this could be any significant contract-based relationship in your life. And when I say contract, it could be a marriage contract, it could be a business contract, but it could be a karmic contract with another person. These are bonds that we feel instant deep attractions to. Whether they manifest into anything in our lives or not, that's the story that karmic relationship has to play. But you can tell a karmic relationship by an intensity that you feel towards that person. A desire to connect, a strong desire towards that person, even if it's resistance. That's a strong, innate feeling of wanting to go towards someone or pull away from someone. And that's the karmic piece. That means you've had history. It's not a neutral feeling. It's not just someone passing on the street. There's a spark of some kind. Watch for those people. Wonderful time to change therapists because the South Node's in your 8th house. So if you're getting psychological support at a professional level, this could be time to shift into one that fits where you're at now. If you've been working with someone for a long time and you feel that's right, that's not going to apply to everyone. There could be a releasing of shared resources that liberates you to feeling better about yourself and your own self-worth and your own assets. Maybe there's been a financial or energetic drain with another person with finances or energy. Jupiter is amplifying this from your 6th house, so it likely has to do with your daily routines, your habits, work tasks. There's something that's healing in this department, and it's activating the assets, worth, access of self and other. When it's related to our daily tasks, when those change, we also feel the need to change how we use our energy for ourselves and with other people. So maybe you have more energy to give. Maybe you have less. Maybe you're realizing you've been spending too much energy with another person and that's time to recalibrate. Whatever it is, it's going to be connected to your work and your daily tasks somehow, even habits. Uranus in your 5th house is keeping things in check for what really matters to you at a heart level. And it's probably different than other people. It's going to be idea-based. You're a curious person at heart. You like to share ideas and merge ideas, and that could be part of this intimacy piece too. People need to meet you there in that place of curiosity and intellectual ability and capacity to expand and think about new ideas and think about better ways to solve problems. Solving problems is part of a Virgo energy, and that's where this new moon is. So you like to move forward. You don't like to stay stuck for the sake of safety. Freedom is your safety. Liberation is your safety. And if yourself or people are not able to do that for whatever reason, you might even have had a pattern that you were not aware of that was keeping you stuck at a subconscious level. That's the 8th house. And when that moves, you feel more liberated to be your creative self in that unique Aquarian way. And you're going to feel more of a sense of value and more of a sense of purpose in the abyss, like in the everythingness that sometimes people can feel not of value when everyone has value, or in the masses, kind of get lost in that Piscean energy. But Saturn's here to create stability and structure that lasts for a long time so that you can both dip into that creative abyss and have worth and a purpose and structure in that, and abundance that is going to come to you in the 2nd house as well with the North Node there. It's going to come from hidden places though. It's going to come from places that you don't necessarily see. It's going to come when you follow your creative self-expression, and then those assets will will find you when you're in that energetic space. I would love to hear how this is going for Aquarians out there. Let me know in the comments below. It's so much fun hearing about your life. And have a wonderful solar eclipse. Thank you so much for joining me here. If you would like more information on your chart, check out my website link in the description below for one-on-one Zoom readings. So much fun chatting with you there. Have a wonderful solar eclipse, and I will see you next time. Pisces, this is all about you. This is a Virgo eclipse in your partnership house where you are starting something brand new with how you connect with other people. But you're releasing something in this part of your chart, and the North Node in your sign means that you're recalibrating your own energy. You're restructuring with Saturn revisiting here again, retrograde, going back over the final details of what it means to be solid and have a solid foundation to expand your expansive energy from. You innately, as a Pisces, are able to tune into the energetic flow of life and trust the process at a higher level, knowing that there's divine wisdom at play. That's where creativity is. That's what you tap into. But there can be a lack of structure that makes it hard for you to choose the life that you want. With the South Node in Virgo, you're letting go of self-criticism and criticism of other people. You're letting go of perfection in partnerships. You're letting go of needing to do all of the things in partnerships. There's a sense with Virgo in the 7th house that if you just get all the tasks done and you do all the little things and people check all the boxes, then relationships will be good. But as a Pisces, you know that there's more going on than that. There's more going on than the details of a relationship. There's the essence of unconditional love. And that comes in weird places with strange situations with people we didn't expect. Unconditional love is the essence of who we all are as that Pisces energy, the cosmic womb where stars are born and where we are born. In this world, we act very Virgoan. We need to get things done. We need to have healthy routines. We need to take care of the mundane details of life in order to be happy, healthy, and have successful relationships. But sometimes you can do all the right things in relationships and they will still be whatever they are. They might be messy. They might be challenging. They might make us cry. They might make us feel the most euphoria and closeness we've ever had. They might be business contracts that are necessary to get work done, yet they aren't the people we would choose to be our business partners if we had a choice. Or they would be, but we get to a crossroads, a point of tension on the axis of Virgo and Pisces, where the details don't add up to the bigger picture. From our perspective, from a spiritual perspective, they do. What I'm trying to say is that in a Virgo perspective, life shouldn't be messy and chaotic. It should be organized and detailed and functional. From a Pisces perspective, we appreciate and live and know that creativity is in the chaos. With relationships, it's a little harder to meet in the middle on this axis. But this is exactly what you're doing at this solar eclipse. This is what the conditions of whatever's going on in your life are creating. They're creating an opportunity for you to find that unique balance in your partnerships and with your own energy, with keeping your own energy yours as much as you need to and can, and not merging and blending with other to the point of feeling like you need to organize another person's life. This is going to be different for everyone. Relationships are different for everyone. And I never want to speak generally to anyone's relationship or circumstances, but just in my own chaotic way, trying to describe what this axis may or may not feel like. The factors helping you at this time are Uranus in your 4th house, unexpected, revolutionary, divine inspiration for home, for change in who you are on the inside, for changing patterns of your family upbringing, changing homes, maybe changes happening in the place that you came from or with your family. Pluto in your 12th house is transforming how you connect to Piscean-like energy of the 12th house. So how do you connect to the energetic world? As a Pisces, very well. But you're transforming that even more in some way. I've said this before, and Pisces are going to be completely revolutionizing the way that the rest of us and the rest of the world sees energy, feels energy, connects with all that is. You are writing this story, and Pluto in Uranus in your 12th house is helping you do that. Helping you do that for other people. Mars from your 9th house, currently in your 8th house, but after this eclipse, Mars is going to be in your 9th house of teaching, belief systems, perspectives, and that's squaring Pluto in your 12th. So this piece of how you are revolutionizing the connection to energetic realms is going to light up starting at this eclipse and onward for a few days. It's already happening, but when it hits that precise mark, or even at the time of this eclipse, there could be an epiphany of something that you didn't see before. A glitch in the matrix. There could be something that blows your mind about what you're now capable of doing, seeing, being, and understanding about your world, about the energy, about the way that you perceive the world. This could be a leap into teaching for some of you, if teaching is something that you do, especially if you're a spiritual leader of any kind. This is huge. Uranus in your 4th house with this kind of Uranian divine intelligence energy hitting the core of who you are and your family lineage. And this Mars-Pluto square happening for you in the 12th and 9th house. Overseas places could be significant, foreign people, foreign cultures. There's a sense of something that's different that's coming into your world that's changing your perspective, and you get to experience it. This is something that's being thrown at you by fated experiences, and it's the ingredient that is going to expand your consciousness and help you be a leader for others who are also on that path. Jupiter in your 5th house is healing your heart. It's healing who you are and your creative self-expression, and it's amping up this eclipse. So you're going to feel this imminent need for being you at all costs. And that's purposeful. That's the North Node in your sign with Saturn there. Like I said at the beginning of this part, this is all about you, Pisces. This is about your heart, your amazing ability to connect with divine energy. This is going to affect your relationships, and something's just going to vanish that was getting in the way of you having partnerships that support who you are. Because you're getting into this energy where you're understanding who you are and what your heart wants at a more important, bigger level. And that's going to attract the right circumstances in your partnerships. Existing partnerships, new partnerships. This has to do more with existing partnerships at this eclipse. We'll get into other stuff that might be coming into your life. It's going to be different for everyone, so I can't say 100% that this wouldn't be an opportunity for new partnerships because it is a new beginning. If that's the case, this is talking about karmic relationships that you've had past lives with, that you've had a lot of reincarnations with, and you're here to do more. I would love to hear what's going on with you, Pisces. It's so much fun chatting with you in the comments below. And when the North Node is in your sign, everyone needs to hear about your experiences. So let me know how things are going for you. And if you would like to chat more with me about your personal chart, I do one-on-one Zoom readings, and it's so much fun to see you there. Check out my booking link in the description below. But for now, thank you so much for just being here and joining me on this video. I hope you have the most incredible solar eclipse in your 7th house, Pisces. I'll see you next time.